Hi coders, my name is Bhupender and I welcome you to my channel Addictive Learning. So what we are going to do in today's video, we are going to be working on a framework of Node.js which is Lookback framework. And what we are going to be learning in Lookback framework, I will explain you how you can build a microservice in loopback. Like I will explain you all the relationship that we have, like one to one, many to one, one to many, and then many to many. And after that I will also show you how you can write your own queries to fetch data from the mysql database, and then I will also explain you how you can make your custom methods. Okay, so before we get started with loopback, I just want to tell you that if you belong to Java and if you are familiar with Java, then loopback would be very easy for you to learn. And if anybody is from JavaScript, then I would suggest to learn first TypeScript, then start learning loopback framework. So okay, now let me take you to the homepage of loopback. So this is the homepage, and this is award-winning framework and highly extensible and open source Node.js, and it is totally based on TypeScript framework, right? And it is based on Express, okay? And with this framework, we can easily build REST APIs, right? And they also provide full support for TypeScript, strongly type JavaScript, okay? And we have this module async and await, like whatever the function we make in the in the in this framework, that will be totally based on async and await. And apart from that, uh, and how we can get started with this. For that you have to download this as a global npmi and dash g global command line interface, and we will mostly use command line interface to generate the code. So first you have to install this, and then you have to type this, and then after creating a project, then we can start typing the further code. Okay, so I have already done this step. Let me show you. I've done this step to just save the time. So this is my project. My project name is Lookback MySQL, and my project description is this. Project root directory is this. Application class name is this, and this. And let me take you to the root directory of the project. So after generating the project will look like this. And the main folder, which is very important for this, is src folder. It has all the necessary file which we want. And if I guys, I will not explain every file in detail because it will take a lot of time, but I will give you a little knowledge to get started with it. So for us, like application.ts file, this is the root of the application, and it is where your application will be configured. Okay, so this is the root of your application, and this is the starting script. This script will start the application for you. And this migrant.js, whatever the whatever you do related to database, that will be configured here. And this sequence.ts file is basically extension of the sequence class, and which is used for the to set the action to take during rest. Whenever you make any request, that time this file get into the action, right? And and that is enough for this file. And for us, we have this controller. Inside this controller we have one controller right now, png controller. And what is this level function expression is not function of code. Okay. And then we have our data source. In this data source folder we will define our database connection, and in models folder we will define all the entities or models, whatever the models we are going to create, we will define all those inside these models. And then repositories, all the repositories related to our models will be defined inside repositories folder. If you are from Java background, then it will be very easy to understand. Like in Java we have also controller, and then repositories and services. So these kind of things are pretty much similar with the Javas. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I will create some first of all I will create some entities. And then after creating entities, let me first create the entities. So what I'll type here, I'll simply type in id for model. Okay, so it is asking for model class name. So the I will create customer, and then I will create order, then I will create address, and then I will create manufacturer class. Okay, so for class for now, so I will create first class is customer customer, and it will be entity because I want persistent model with an ID. So and free, no, I don't want. Enter the property name. The property first name will be customer ID, which will be number, and it will be yes, and it will get automatically generated yes. And the second thing is name, and it will be string, it is required yes. And then what, email, and it will be also string, it is required yes. Okay, and then I'll simply press the enter to create another model. So you can see guys, we have created a model inside customer.model. This is a model we have just created, and it is also has been exported here also. I don't know why we are getting this error. TypeScript is no invalid this place. Let me see what I had chosen by creating the, so committed this file. I don't know guys. Okay, and after that what I have to do, I have to create one more model, that is order, and it will be entity, and I don't want additional field. No, order underscore id, and it will be a number, and yes, yes. And the next is name, string required yes. And then within, what else we want as a field, we want age. No, I think this will are enough. Let's press enter again, type. So next model is address. So address, and it will be an entity. I don't want additional address. This will be our primary key as well as auto generated key, and this will be number, yes, id, and automatically generated yes. And the next is address, city, I would say, string required yes. Then pin code, just take it in string as well, it is required yes. Pin code, city, as well as what else we can provide inside address, city, pin code, id, let's say. Okay, let's just keep only these three fields. Now the next is manufacturer. So okay, so the model name will be manufacturer, manufacturer, right? And it will be entity no, enter the property name manufacturer, manufacturer ID. Spelling is it correct? Yeah, it is correct. And then it is a number and yes, and name string yes required, and age number not required. Let's say required. Then press enter. Okay. After creating all the entities, now what we have to do, guys? Why I have created all these entities? I will show you the relationship between these entities. Just let me create first. Uh, Now what I will do, let me show you first. These are the entities. These are the entities just we have created, and customer model yes, and then order not model yes. Okay, okay, and one, two, three, four, and all the entities have been exported from here. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to make our connection. We have to make our application connection with the database. For that, what we have to do, we have to uh, type here lb4 data source, and data source name will be mysql connection. I will mysql connection, and from here we have to choose mysql, and then we have to provide local host, then port 3306, and user root and password this, and database bucket, and it will create the MySQL connection file for us. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, guys, the file is being created. So if I open the file right now, you can see the all the things that I have given. Connector is MySQL, host localhost, port, my password, and the database name bucket. Okay. Okay. After creating the database, now what we have to do, we have to create the repository for all of the model. So for that, what we will do, we will type here, we will go repository, and I will choose my connection data source. The first repository I will choose. You can press shift to choose. I have chosen customer, and now I will press enter, and then I want to create default cart repository, and it has been created successfully. Now I want to create repository for order. Created. Now I want to create repository for address. Created. Now I want to create repository for manufacturer. It is also has been created. Okay. Now what we have to do now, if I show you the repository folder, inside the folder you can see we have address repository here, and then we have a customer repository here, and then we have a manufacturer repository here, and then we have a order repository here. Okay, it is similar to Java. If you remember, like we also used to have create the class, and then we extend the JPA, and inside JPA we used to use this, and then there we used to provide a class name and the the type of the class, like integer or string. And here we provide one more example, which is order relation, and it will help us to map our all the entities, right? It is similar to that. I will explain these five individually in a better way. I actually I have thought to upload a full tutorial on each each file application dot index and migrate, and I will cover this loopback framework in a good way, and I will upload everything which is needed to So now, if I open controller, we don't have controller yet. We have repositories, right? Now what we have to do now, I will create the relationship between the entities. So we have a customer entity and the order entity. Okay, I will say model. We have a customer model and order model, right? So one customer can have multiple order, right? And multiple order can have one customer, right? So so what is the relationship here? Like one to many and then many to one. So for relationship, what we have to type will be for relation here, right? And then I will choose has many, for one to many. Click enter, and then I will choose customer here, and then my target model will be order, and then here I have to provide a foreign key for that. So, and that foreign key will be created inside order. So the foreign key name will be customer underscore id. Yes, orders. Yes, and to to create the reversal of it, for that we have to again type ib for relation, because we have just created one to many. Now we want to create many to one. Okay, for that we will use belong to, and then I will choose here order, and then the target model will be our customer, right? And then here also we have to provide the foreign key. So this will be customer underscore id, and relations I will customers. Yes, we want. Now we have just created a relationship between customer and order. So if I show you the relationship, what relationship we have got, so that will be inside customer here. You can see, guys, uh, and this is the getter and setter. I will show you models, and inside models customer. So as you can see, guys, this is now this is the customer id. This is a foreign key, and the orders, right? So that means this customer will have multiple orders, right? Can have multiple orders, right? And if I show you the vice versa of it, so if you see here, and if you see, this belongs to, this is belongs to uh, customer. So if I want to find like how many orders are related to customer and customer, like suppose there are two orders related to a customer, then you can also find that. Okay, I will show you. Okay, so now we have to create another mapping, and that will be mapping for customer and address. So it will be one-to-one mapping. For that, like one customer have only one address. So for that I will use again this id for relation. So here I will use has one, and then I will use customer, and my target model will be address. And here we have to provide foreign key customer underscore id, source property address, and yes. And then what next? Now we have to again do the reversal of it. Now we will create the same for the belong to, and then I will choose address, and then I will choose customer, because one to one, you can get you can get address from the customer, and you can get customer from the address. So it is vice versa, right? Customer id relation customer, single customer will get. Okay, now we will create one more relation, and that relation will be between order and the manufacturer. So like one order can have multiple manufacturer. Okay, so we are going to create a relationship between order and the manufacturer. So this will be has many, and this will be inside order, and then the target model will be manufacturer. And here we have to provide the foreign key, and the foreign key will be order underscore id, manufacturer the relations name, and yes, I want all the data related to manufacturer instance. Now what we have to do after creating the relation, we have to create the controller for that. But let me show you first the relation. uh, so if you go inside customer dot models, then you will have this has many, then has one. Like customer has two relationship right now, one with orders and other with address, and this order has also two relationship, one with customer and another with manufacturer, right? And this address has only one relationship, that is with customer. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to create a controller. For that we will use lb4 controller. Guys, so don't think that I'm not explaining anything right now, because it is, everything is being generated from the CLI. So if you are thinking that I'm not explaining anything, I will explain everything, but not in this video. I will tell you in this video how you can build an application with the MySQL database, and how you can fetch data from the DB, like how you can write your own queries, and how you can make your custom methods, and what are the processes how you can fetch the data. That these are the things that I am going to tell you. I will not explain the every file in this video. Okay, if you are thinking that I will explain, no, I will not explain. I will explain these files individually. I have thought to make videos on each and individual file, and I will cover all the decoder, interceptor, and the service and the binding and the application, all of that, you know inside loopback. So let me first create the controller. So the first controller will be customer, and it will be a REST controller. I will choose a customer repository ID. So guys, make sure you provide here the ID that we have entered during the uh, creation of the model. So that was customer underscore ID, and it is a number. And yes, we want, yes, now I want to create controller for order this controller order repository. What is the order underscore ID number? Yes, orders. Now we want controller for address controller address repository address underscore ID number. Yes, what is, and now we want to create controller for the manufacturer. Manufacturer bus controller manufacturer manufacturer ID manufacturer underscore ID number. Yes, yes. Now all the controller have been created. Now what we have to do, if I start the application. Now let's start the application. uh, Let me start the application first and show you what error you can get. Right now we will not get any error, but when we create any post request to the customer, or to the order, to the manufacturer, to the address, it will give us error. I will tell you why it will give us error. Okay, so application has started on 3000 successfully, so we will go on 3000. So I will type here localhost 3000, and after after typing localhost 3000, you will have this page. You have to click on explorer, and you will have here the documentation of your APIs, right, in this way. So now if I try to create a customer from here, so name, let's say Pinder, and Pinder email address is gmail.com. Now if I try to execute this, so as you can see, we got 500. That means internet server error. If I show you, and it will say bucket.customer doesn't exist. So this table does not exist. And to create the table automatically at the runtime, what we have to do, we have to tell manually. We have to tell loopback manually. And how we can tell loopback to create table for us? We have to go inside migrate.ts file, and here we have to type here models, and all the models we have to provide a customer, and then order, then address, and then manufacturer. Okay, and after providing the models, what we have to do, we have to run the build here, npm run build. Once build done, then we have to migrate this change. Then we have to type npm run migrate to migrate all the changes. So let me show you the database. So yeah, you can see guys, we have got the tables. So if I show you the customer tables, we don't have anything. And if I show you the manufacturer table, you can see we have a foreign key here as a order ID. And then if I show you order, then we have a customer ID here as a foreign key. And if I show you the address, we have a customer ID. Okay. Now let me put the data inside of it of the. So I will open one. Now if I execute, it will not give error. Okay, fail to fetch because we did not start the application. So let me start the application. Before starting the application, let me enable the node more in this application. For that guys, what I'll do, I'll simply paste here a script inside package.json, just below here. I will simply paste here a script here. This is the script. After pasting the script, what I'll do, I'll come here and I'll type here node more this index.ts. So now whatever the change we do in our application, it will uh, it will take that change and start the server again. So we don't have to stop the server again and again and then start. Okay. So now application has started on 3000. If I go on, so now if I try to execute, you can see guys, this data has been created successfully. Okay, let me create one more data here like Sonu, and then here Sonu. If I execute or Sonu, let me create one more Ashish, Ashish, and okay guys, Ashish has also been created successfully, right? Now what I will do, I will simply create I'll simply create order as well here. Okay, so name, and name will be Mohit, Mohit, and it will be on ID 1. As you can see, Mohit has been created successfully. Now create Ram, it will be on ID 2. Execute. Now create one more here, Sahil, and it will be on customer ID 3. This Sahil has also been created successfully. Now what we have to do, we have to go up and create address as well. Now I will create address here. So the city Delhi, pin code here 0092, and it is on ID customer ID 1. Now if I try to execute, it will create. Okay, it has created. Okay, now um, Mumbai, Mumbai, and it will be on ID 2. Execute. Okay, it has created. Let me create one more. Pune, and then it will be on ID 3. Alright, okay. Now what we have to do, we have to go down and create the manufacturer as well for the order. So this is manufacturer pointer, this is show, show is 24, ID1, execute, show has created successfully, now create length is 23, it is on ID2, successfully created, now create Shyam, and it is, and his age is 22, and it is on 83. Once once you are done with this creating the all the data which we want, now what I'll do, I'll go inside my mysql and check the data. So we have couple of data inside address table as well, we have couple of data inside order as well, we got few data inside manufacturer as well, and we got some data inside customer table as well. Okay, now what we have to do next, we have to fetch this data. So I just want to show you something. Localhost 3000, and this is customers endpoint. And if I click on customers, right now you are able to see that I am getting all the customer, but I am not getting any orders related to this customer. Like suppose if you want to get the order as well related to customer one, so how can you get that order? So for that, this is the important thing, guys. This is what I really want to show you. If you learn this thing, then development will become very easy for you. So how can you get the orders related to this? So for that, what we have to do, we have to go inside our controller, and here customer controller, and inside customer controller we have to tell here customers, right? This is get, and we are getting there. So we have to tell here we want. So how we can tell? We have to first initialize an object, then we have to type include, and then we can define our relation. And how you can get the relation? You have to go inside repositories, and you can see the relation customer repository. We have got two relations, address and orders, right? So for that, I will first type address, first type orders, then we will also see the address. So I will type orders here, and if I refresh and let the application start again, then I will check. It was getting longer. Now if I hit the send button, now we will see. Now guys, you are seeing we are getting order as well. Like we have customer, and we know that Bhupinder is a customer, and Bhupinder has got one order. And what is the order? This is the order, right? Order ID this, and name of the order, and customer name. And if on ID2 we have got this order this, and on ID3 we have got this, right? Now what if you also want the address inside of this? So that, and for that, what you have to do, what you can do here, you have to initialize address here as well. Let me check the address. Yeah, address. and save this change, and you will be able to see address as well, right? Now if I hit the send button, then we will be able to see address as well. So guys, as you can see, we have this customer, and this customer has this order, and this order can more than one. Right now this customer has only one order, but it can increase based on the customer requirement, right? And then this is the address of the customer. You can see this is the address of this particular customer, right? So this is a single object. And then we have a customer 2, and customer 2 has also got a order and then address. Then customer 2 address is this address, and then customer 3 has got this, and this is the address of it, right? Now if you also want this like we have orders, and inside order we have also got the manufacturer. If you also want the manufacturer, how you can do that? So that uh, we have to go inside here, and we have to remove these two from here. Here to create mm, relation, inside relation, first relation between the, the address, and the second one we can give a scope, and this scope will have another, and then here we can define include, and here we can define our uh, let me just first define the order here as orders, and then we have defined here the relation. You have to check the relation inside order repository. We have relation manufacturer, manufacturer here, and here we can define, I think, address. It will work. So first you have to define this array, and inside this array you have to define relation, and inside the relation you have to define whatever the relation you have got with this orders, right? Like we have manufacturers. If you go inside order repository, you will have see the relation between what is the relation we have. Now if I check now, and if I click, so as you can see guys, this is the whole object, and in this object what we are getting a customer, and that customer has got an order, and with that order we are also able to see the manufacturer of that order, right? And you can see we have this detail of the, because we are getting array, because this order has this order might have more than one manufacturer. That's why we are getting this in array, okay? And after that we are able to see the address as well. So guys, this is how you can create the relationship and get the data. Whatever the requirement of your is, you can do that, right? So guys, this is the relation, and you can do the same for the, like if you want to fetch the orders. So how you can fetch the orders? You want, let me show you quickly, and then rest of you will do by yourself, right? So let me go to first order.controller, and here inside I will define orders, and here I have to define the same thing. So I will type here first include, and then we have a relation customer, I guess, customer customers, and then we have a relation manufacturer. Let me show the relation order repository. We have got to manufacturer and the customers. So manufacturers and the customers, right? And if I save it, save it, and let's get along. Now, if you go inside and click here, orders. Normally, before like orders, and this is order ID 1, and we have got order related to this customer, and 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 we are also getting the detail of the manufacturer as well. As you can see, manufacturer, right? This is how you can get the orders detail and related to that order, who is the customer of that order, and who are the manufacturer of that order. You can find out all of that, right? So guys, this is how. So I have told you the relationship between order and customer, and then order and manufacturer, and customer and order, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to like I have told you relationship between customer and order, and it was the relationship between many to one to many, and then many to one, and then we have a relationship between order and manufacturer, uh, one to many, and then we have a relationship between address to customer, one to one, right? Now we will create a relationship between I will create another relationship that will be many to many, and for that I will stop first the server, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you. For that I'll create some model, and I will show you the relationship between doctor as well as patient in the appointment, and it will be a many to many relationship. And why it is many to many, I will show you. Just give me some time. So the model name will be doctor, and it will be entity no, and doctor underscore id, and it will be a number, yes, yes, name, right? And it's string required, yes, enter. Now we have to create patient, and for that I'll type this command again, and here model class will be patient, entity no, we don't want an extra field right now, and to the property name patient underscore id, and it will be a number, yes, yes, and then patient name, we also want patient name string, yes, and then we don't want anything. Now we will create one more model that will be an appointment model, and this will be appointment, appointment, and it will be entity no, appointment underscore id, number, yes, yes, we don't want anything apart from this appointment id, right? Because we are going to save the foreign key of the doctor as well as the foreign key of the the patient in this appointment dot appointment underscore ID. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to create the repository for all those models. So I'll type here for repository, and I will do mysql, and then I have to choose the model here. I will choose doctor. For choose model you can press space, and after that you can hit the enter, and again I have to choose. Now I will choose patient, all, hit enter. Then I will choose. Now I have to choose appointment as a alright. So we are done with repositories. Now what we have to do, we have to make the controller. Now we will, first we will make the relationship between this doctor and the patient and the appointment. Okay, so for that what I'll do, I type here LB4, and it will be many to many relationship, and how we can achieve that many to many relationship in Node and in Lookback framework. For that we have to use has many through, and the source model of this will be doctor, and the target model will be patient, and we will create through appointment, because appointment is the table where we will be having no patient ID as well as doctor ID as a foreign key. Okay, and now we will provide a doctor underscore ID, and this will be patient underscore ID, patients, yes. Okay, we are done with the relationship as well. Now what we have to do, we can now create the controller. For controller, controller name is doctor, just controller. We have to choose doctor as a model. Now we have to choose doctor repository. What is the ID? And the ID was doctor underscore ID, and it is a number. Yes, yes. Now we have to do the same for the other model as well. Model patient, yes, controller. Now we have to choose the model. We have to choose the repository, patient ID, patient underscore ID, number. Yes, we want to omit those patients. Now we have to choose the controller for the appointment. So here we type appointment, then it will be as controller. Now we have to choose appointment. Now we have to choose appointment repository, and this will be appointment underscore ID, number. Yes, appointments. Now we are done with controller as well. You remember guys, I have told you one thing, whenever we do any change in the models and we create any models, we have to tell migrate, we have to tell loopback to migrate all those changes. For that we have to again go inside the migrate.js, and we have to mention all the models which we have just created. So I will type here doctor, and after doctor we will type here patient, and after patient we have this model appointment. Okay, after mentioning these models here, now what we have to do, we have to run few commands. We have to run first command, that is npm run build. Now we have to run npm run migrate. It will migrate all the changes. And to see, it will also create the table as well. Here we will be able to see the table creation as well. So migrating, it has migrated successfully. So now you can see, you see the appointment table, it will have the doctor key as well as the patient key. And if you see the doctor, it will have simple uh, doctor ID and the name, and same for the patient, right? Now what we have to do, we have to simply start the application. I will start application node mode index.ts. Okay, server has started. Now we have to just refresh this page, and then we have to insert some data in the doctor as well as patient, and then first we have to insert some data inside doctors doctor name. Let's suppose Phil. Okay, and let's exclude this. So after has been created successfully, let's create one more doctor. Lalit is my friend, is Doctor Lalit, and I have got one more doctor, my friend Sotra. He is Karthik. So okay, so we have got three doctor right now. Okay, now I will need some patient. The first patient will be Bhupinder. Let's execute this. Okay, Bhupinder has been successfully. Now we have to create one more patient, and this will be Sonu. Create, and has been created successfully. Now create one more Rohit. Okay, it has been created successfully. Now what we have to do, we have to fill the data inside appointment. So at that we have to now doctor ID as one and ID was one patient. Okay, okay. Now suppose doctor ID one has also one more patient. Okay, so one doctor now have two patients. Okay, so I will show you how. Now what I'll do, I will change the doctor, and this doctor has a patient one. Okay, and this is also has a patient of two. Okay, and okay. So now if I show you the table, how the table is looking. So okay, now you can see guys, we have one appointment and this is appointment one, and doctor has appointment, and this doctor at this time got two appointment, and he has got two patient. Okay, one and two. This is a patient. So if I these two, Bhupinder and Sonu is the patient of doctor uh, Dr. Akhil, right? So he's the Akhil. One and two is the Akhil, and he has got two patient, and he has got two appointment with that, right? If you're not getting any sense here, let me give you the JSON. Let me give the JSON so that you can have a pattern understanding. So how we can generate that JSON? We have to again go inside doctor customer doctor controller, sorry, doctor controller. This is the doctor controller, and here we have to define our relations. Okay, so if I go little bit down here, doctor, here we can define our include, and what are the relation we have for the doctor. Let me see. Doctor repository, we have got patients relations. Okay, patients. So I put here patients. Now case application has started on 3000. If I go on 3000 and click here doctors, right, doctors, and it will give me doctor as well as the patient. Okay, as you can see, we have Akhil is a doctor, and he has got two patients right now, as you can see. And same for Lalit has also got two patients. And if I talk about Karthik has also got two patients, right? And if you want to see similar pattern, you can see similar pattern for patient controller as well. There is patient controller, and here we have to see what is the relationship. Okay, we don't have relationship train. Okay. The doctor can only see no. Okay, so let me also show you how we are saying many to many. So you can see this Bhupinder is also like this two patient have Bhupinder. Bhupinder is also having an appointment with Akhil as well as Lalit. So two patients are having two doctor at the same time. So this is how we can relate many to many. And this patient doctor has two patient, and two patient can have two doctor as well as like Pinder has Lalit, and Pinder also has Akhil. Akhil has also Upinder, and Lalit has also Sonu, and Akhil has also Sonu. So this is many to many relationship, right? I hope you guys are getting my point. Now I will show you, because we are done with the relationship. Now I will show you quickly how you can create your own method and fetch the data from DB. Okay, for that I will go inside. I will write method for customer only. Okay, you can write and you can write any method for any model, but I am going to write only for customer. For that I will go inside customer repository. Where is customer? Where is customer? This is the customer repository, and just below this constructor I will start typing or making the code. Okay, so so how can you create a custom method here? So for that, let's suppose, let me see the first data customer. Okay, let's get name based on the email ID. Okay, email ID and the customer ID. Okay, based on email ID and customer ID. So what I do for that, I will write here a sync. This will be a sync function, and I will here find uh, customer customer by email and and ID, right? Okay, and then we have to provide email and ID, so we will provide email as a string and ID as a number, right? And then what we have to do, we have to promise here, and then this we have to provide here, we have to provide a customer model like this. Now what we have to do, we have to fetch uh, this uh, uh, this customer from the DB. For that I will type here SQL query. So I will type SQL, and then I will write here select, then name from bucket dot customer, right? Let me see the table, bucket dot customer. Alright, select name from bucket dot customer, where email where email. So for that I will type here email, and then okay, okay, like this, and we also want ID, customer ID, right? Mhm. Customer ID, this, okay, and here we will first console the query SQL and this, and then after if everything goes right, then what we can do, we can simply return this customer, and then whatever the result false, and this dot we can use execute method and provide that execute query here, and let me just write this all of this and away because we are using C and write all of this here. Okay, okay, this way we can make our own method. Like it totally depends what you want from the database. I want this name and based on the email ID I passed, or let me say is everything correct or not. Okay, it's just put to me. Okay, now we have to go inside the customer controller. Customer controller. This is customer controller, and here I will explore. So I will create an endpoint here first. What I want customers, customers, only customer, right? And then what I have to define, I have to mention another Dakota response, and inside response we will 200, and then here description, fetching customer from DB using query, and then we have to provide content type, and then this content type will be an object, and here application slash JSON, and we have to define schema and schema, and this schema will be equal to this cos this. Okay, and once you define this, now what we have to we have to define a function async, and in the function find customer find customer find customer by email and ID. Okay, and inside this we have to we, we want two query parameter. First one is query dot, this will be a string, and in this string I will define email. We also want this as a email dot string, and then we also want one more query string columns dot query dot, this will be a number, and in this number ID, and here we can define this ID number in this. Okay, and we can also just promise, and then custom customer. Okay, and then okay. Now remember one thing, guys. When you define any encoder inside this function, you will also have to define the uh, filter filter as well, because if you don't define filter and if you return anything, like if I return await, and then what I have to return, I have to return this dot repository, customer repository, and then I have the function here find customer by id, which I have created in my repository, and then I have to pass email and the id, right? As you can see guys, you are not getting this in a in a purple color. Okay, so that means this is not right. Okay, so what we have to do, you have to, after defining advanced param, you have to also define one more param, that is param dot filter, and in that filter we have to pass customer, customer, and then we have to give a split space and filter, and then we have to filter, then what we have to filter, we have to filter customers. Now after providing this, as you can see guys, now it is working fine and it looks good. Okay, now after defining this method, we can test this method. Now we have to just call this customer, and then we have to provide two argument, email and the id, and with that, after providing email and id, it will go inside this function find customer by email and id function, which we have defined inside our customer repository here. And here first, after getting this email and the id, it will make an sql query, and then after fetching the data from the db, then this data is returning as here. Okay, so let me just test this functionality. First, let me go doctor customer. Let me see what I'm getting here. So it is saying 500 internal. So let me see. So it is right now saying email undefined and customer name, because we did not provide our. Okay. Now let me provide email, and let me see the email. Email is p@gmail, gmail.com, and then we have a id, and this id equal to 1. Okay, now if I pass, now you can see guys, we are getting Bhinder, so we are getting the customer. So as you can see guys, we are able to write the query. Okay, and we are able to make a method which can directly fetch the data from the db. So this is how you can, like, right now I have created a database, sorry, I have created a a function this for getting a name of the user, but you can create any function, you can write any query, whatever the query you want to write, like whatever the complex query you have, you can write in this way and execute this and return the result. And after getting the result, you can make an endpoint for that, like I have made the made the endpoint like customer, and after the query, like, and right now I have taken these two field as a query parameter, but if you want to take one of them as a path variable, you can do. For that, you have to replace that query to path, then you can. Okay, although guys, I have not explained you much about this, because most of the code was auto generated, but I am I'm coming up, I'm going to continue this tutorial, and what I'm going to do, I will start explaining this application.ts file first, then I will jump index.js, then migrate, then sequence.js, and then I will jump these decoders, response, and then we have inject. So like you go inside, we have this, reporters, or if you see doctor, then at the rate model and at the rate property. Also, I will also tell you how you can like validate your JSON. Like if you want to provide some validation to your to your entity or to your model, you can provide how you can provide that. I will tell you all of that. Okay, and for that you will have to wait, because I will soon start explaining these application, these remaining parts. Okay, so guys, this is how you can build an application in Lookback. Like you can create you have to first create model, and then you have to create a repository for that model. And after creating the repository for that model, you can create the relation between the models, and after creating the relation between the models, you can simply create the REST controller. Okay, so let me quickly note and so let me quickly show you what we have done. We have customer order. This is many to one and one to many, and we have then customer dot address, and this is one to one, and then we have order, then manufacturer, it is one to many, one to many, and then we have a relationship between doctor and then patient, and then appointment, appointment, many, many to many. Okay, so this is what we have done so far, and after that we have fetch data from DB. Okay, so guys, this is what we have done. Okay, and this is very important. So guys, this is it for this video, and if you think that if you have got anything from this tutorial, like I mean anything relate, anything knowledgeable, then you can like this video. And so thank you so much guys for watching this video till the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care.